No one knows the day or the hour. We were told to watch for the season. Right now in Canada and around the world, 3 technologies are converging faster than most Christians realize. Mandatory digital identity, programmable central bank digital currency, state-level internet censorship. When these 3 lock together, you will not be able to buy or sell without the system's approval. Sound familiar? Revelation 13:16-17. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. Stay with me. This is not conspiracy. Did anyone think when the Freedom Convoy had their peaceful protest that government had the power to freeze bank accounts? This is policy, happening in plain sight. Most Canadians have never heard of the Digital Charter Implementation Act or the Pan-Canadian Trust Framework run by DIACC, but these are the building blocks. The government wants every Canadian to have a single, verifiable, interoperable digital ID by 2030, tied to your health records, taxes, banking, travel, everything. Bill C-27 and the new Consumer Privacy Protection Act are laying the legal rails right now. Up to $25 million fine. Provinces are already piloting. BC, Alberta, and Ontario all have digital wallet programs in testing. DIACC website screenshots. BC Services Card App Login EU's EIDS 2.0 Wallet Demo WEF videos bragging about. Known Traveler Digital ID UN Sustainable Development Goal 16.9. Legal identity for all by 2030. Phone scanning face. Calm. Iris. And it's not just Canada. The EU just made the digital identity wallet mandatory for all 27 member states. India's Aadhaar system already tracks 1.4 billion people. This is global, seamless, and coming fast. Layer 2 is money you can't hide. Bank of Canada has been running public consultations on a digital loonie since 2020. They call it a central bank digital currency, CBDC. Unlike Bitcoin or even your current bank app, a CBDC is 100% controlled by the issuer. It can be programmed. That means dates on your money, use it or lose it. Geofencing. You can't spend outside your zone. Carbon wallets. You've used your yearly flight allowance, denied. Social credit linkage. Your score dropped. Transactions frozen. The Bank for International Settlements, the central bank of central banks, says 93% of the world's central banks are actively working on this right now. Bank of Canada CBDC consultation page BIS 2024 survey graph, 93%. China's digital yuan being scanned in stores. Screen grab of European Central Bank's digital euro rules document saying conditional payments possible. Revelation 13 doesn't just talk about a mark, it talks about economic control. No one may buy or sell except the one who has the mark. A programmable CBDC plugged into a mandatory digital ID is the most efficient way any government has ever had to enforce that. The silencing, preparing the image to speak. Layer 3 is the muzzle. Canada's Online Harms Bill. Currently in committee as of November 2025. Past versions, C11, C18, C63 already gave the CRTC and government sweeping new powers over what you see online. And it's not just Canada, the EU's Digital Services Act, Brazil's PL 2630, Australia's Misinformation Bill, all using the exact same language pushed by the UN and WEF. Daniel 7:25 says the final empire will intend to change times and law and wear down the saints. Revelation 13:16 and 17 says the second beast makes an image that speaks and causes those who refuse to worship it to be killed. Many scholars see that speaking image as global media AI enforcement. When preachers can be deplatformed, debanked, and flagged as harmful for quoting Revelation. We're watching the dress rehearsal. Let me be crystal clear. I am not saying Canada's digital ID is the mark of the beast today. What I am saying is every single technical and legal component required for the Revelation 13 system is either built, in testing, or being legislated right now, in our generation.
Sometimes applying for government benefits can be a lengthy and complicated process. The Government of Canada's vision is to enable Canadians to use trusted digital identities for quick and easy access to online services. Emily's having a baby soon and is applying for benefits. Today, she has to complete an online application form, then wait 5 to 10 days for an access code. When it arrives in the mail, she will use it to create an account and set up direct deposit. What if she could do all this at once, from any device? She'd confirm who she is using her provincial or territorial trusted digital ID, consent to using personal information from her digital ID, and may choose to receive notifications. Once approved, she'd decide how to get paid. That's it. The government's goal is to enable simple, fast, and convenient access to services anytime, anywhere, on any device. We're working with government and the private sector to build the foundation and standards for digital identity across Canada and internationally. The future is closer than you think.
Jesus told us, "When you see these things begin to take place, straighten up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." If you've never made Jesus Christ your Lord, today is the day. The door is still open, but the night is coming. Revelation 3:19-22. Those whom I love, I reprove and discipline, so be zealous and repent. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me. Open your heart and mind and ask Jesus to come in. Believe the gospel and start living for him with everything you have. Comments. Tell me, have you already been asked for a digital ID at a government service this year? Drop your province below. Maranatha. Come Lord Jesus. CBDC fines for C63 administrative up to $10 million or 6% of global revenue. Criminal fine, life imprisonment, and civil fine up to $50,000 to government and $20,000 to victim the hate was directed to. C63 biometric scanners, Trudeau online hate speech. If you think it ended with Trudeau, please note that the current Liberal government is continuing where Trudeau left off. Only Carney is smarter and accelerating the pace.
Chill of protected expression. In Whatcott, the Supreme Court of Canada said that hatred encompasses only the most extreme manifestations captured by the words detestation and vilification. Only that type of speech can be penalized without violating the Charter. C63 adopts this language in Section 319(7). Hatred means the emotion that involves detestation or vilification. But detestation is really just a synonym for hate, and vilification is a highly subjective concept. We are in a present moment of passionate and often fraught disagreement in our society, where a lot of claims are made that are understood differently depending on context. For example, calling someone a Zionist presently may land as vilification, or more dubiously, promotion of genocide, or as praise, depending on the speaker and the audience. Just a few days ago, a former CBC producer, Shanaz Karmali, accused MP Kevin Wong of hateful expression for posing with an individual wearing an F Hamas sweatshirt on social media. That's the problem with criminalizing language. It's subjective. It shifts depending on context. And these concerns become pressing with the expanded sanctions proposed in Part 2. Even if our judges can be relied upon to respect principles of proportionality when sentencing an offender under 320, for example, the range of available sentences in the law will now include life imprisonment. So it's not a frivolous possibility that prosecutors can refer judges to a range of sentencing up to life imprisonment for a crime such as vandalism, if it is alleged that the crime was motivated by hate.
The Canadian Constitution Foundation, CCF, is a registered charity and legal advocacy organization based in Calgary, Alberta. It operates primarily as a civil liberties watchdog, using the court system to challenge government laws or actions that it believes violate the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
So the reality is that it's virtually impossible to identify in advance predictably a line that separates the merely awful but lawful from criminal hate speech. And this lack of clarity poses an urgent threat to online discourse, which is our current town square, and should brook this type of passionate adversarial disagreement. When these types of sanctions are in play, everyone has an incentive to err on the side of caution. Platforms will flag and remove content that is actually protected expression, and individuals will self-censor. Finally, I will briefly address Part 3 of the bill, which brings back a civil remedy for online hate speech, which allows members of the public to bring complaints for the Canadian Human Rights Commission. This would be disastrous, and you should not go forward with this proposal. Even if most alleged instances are dismissed for not meeting the threshold of hate speech, the penalties for individuals found liable, up to $50,000 paid to the government plus $20,000 to the victim, are severe enough that we can infer the new regime will lead to large amounts of soft pedaling of expression for fear of skirting the line. It will interfere severely with press freedom to publish controversial opinions, which are necessary to a flourishing civil society. And finally, process is punishment, even if the case does not proceed. We will see more people punished for protected expression. Thank you. I welcome your questions.
Identity and structure. Type A registered charity and legal advocacy organization. Ideology and orientation. Political stance. While officially nonpartisan, they are widely recognized as conservative, libertarian, or classical liberal. Comparison. They are often seen as the right-leaning counterpart to the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, CCLA. Collaboration. Despite ideological differences, they frequently team up with left-leaning groups, like the CCLA, when civil liberties are broadly at risk. Core areas of focus: individual liberty, protecting citizens from government overreach, freedom of expression, opposing censorship, compelled speech, and restrictive protest laws, economic liberty, advocating for property rights, interprovincial trade, and the right to earn a living, healthcare choice, arguing for the right to access private healthcare to avoid wait times, challenging the public monopoly. Notable legal cases: the Emergencies Act, successfully argued in federal court, 2024, that the government's use of the act during the 2022 convoy protests was unconstitutional. Free the Beer, Farvi Kamo, supported a challenge against barriers to transporting alcohol across provincial borders. The Canby case intervened in the challenge against BC's ban on private health insurance. Educational outreach: the Runnymede Society, a membership organization created by the CCF for law students and professors to debate the rule of law and constitutionalism from a classical liberal perspective. Revelation 13, like, subscribe, share, and pray, hit the bell. We're posting new developments weekly. Creator statement: this video was created by a real person, not an algorithm. I am an independent researcher who loves biblical prophecy and feels compelled to share the truth about what is happening in our world today. I do my best to present facts, but I am also sharing my personal warning. The patterns we see today controlling the media, removing free speech, and seizing weapons are historically dangerous. They remind us of the strategies used in Germany under Hitler and Russia under Stalin. History warns us that when you silence the people and take their ability to defend themselves, tyranny follows. My goal is to help you see these times clearly. Please do your own research. Wake up, watch, and pray. Like, subscribe, share, and pray, hit the bell. We're posting new developments weekly.